Mike Delisio from Solo Mode Games. Today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of Call to Adventure, designed by Chris and Johnny O'Neill, coming from Brotherwise Games. This is a game with a storytelling element where you are trying to basically run through the life of a particular character. At the beginning of the game, you're going to turn over 3 cards that lay out basically your origin and your motivation and your ultimate destiny. And then you're going to be trying to play cards, cast runes to be able to fulfill that destiny. And then at the end, you can tell a story about the life that you've lived. So, with all that being said, let's head on over to the table and take a look at Call to Adventure. Okay, here we have most of the solo setup for Call to Adventure. I've got 3 random cards here that are going to be shown here in a moment to reveal my character. I've got my origin, my motivation, and my destiny. I randomly chose an adversary that I'm going to be playing against. In this case, it's going to be the High Priest adversary. There's the High Priest. And at the end of the game, on my last turn, I'm going to attempt to defeat him. I'm going to need a strength of 8, and I'm going to be able to use those 2 types of runes. So I know that I need to be trying to gather those 2 types of runes to be able to defeat this High Priest. The solo mode says that if the adversary ever has 5 experience, then they're going to win. So I don't want to let that happen, of course. The quest that goes along with the High Priest, each adversary has its own quest. Any challenges that have kind of this mask icon are going to be one more difficult. If I ever have 3 or more of these corruption at the end of the game, the adversary is going to gain 2 experience, which I don't want. And if I have 3 of these kind of, I don't know, blessed maybe, icons at the end of the game, the adversary is going to lose 2. So I need to be looking at trying to be a little bit more virtuous, let's say. And then this Rise of the Adversary card says that anytime that I fail a challenge, the adversary is going to gain a experience token, and so I need to be careful because at 5 they win. Whenever my result includes the drawing a hero or anti-hero rune, which is part of my 3 basic runes here, then the adversary is going to play an anti-hero. I'll show how that works in a moment. And if I end the game with less than 30 destiny, the adversary is also going to gain 2 experience. So many different ways that they could potentially be gaining experience throughout the game. I'm going to be trying to defeat that adversary as my ultimate goal, of course. Okay, so let's just kind of finish up with the setup here. I start with 3 experience tokens, which I have. I start with my little tracker here in the midway spot, which means I can play either heroes or anti-heroes. As I go up, I can only play heroes. If I go down, I can only play anti-heroes. There's little markers here on the board to show you that. So let's reveal my character. These were all randomly chosen, so let's find out who I am. Well, apparently I am a squire, all right? I am a squire, and it says during a challenge, if at least one of my runes shows a result of this strength, I apologize, I haven't remembered exactly what all of these apply to, but those 2 symbols, then I will gain a experience. I need to remember to do that, all right? That is my origin. So what is my motivation? Well, I'm a natural leader. And so I'm going to be trying to lead men and women throughout my lifetime. Once per turn, I can spend a experience to gain this particular rune until the end of my turn. So if I'm facing challenges with that particular symbol, this could be very helpful to me. Now, this last card is my destiny, and in a multiplayer game, this would stay face down. You would be able to check it, but you wouldn't reveal it. It would stay face down. But for the purposes of the solo game, there's no reason to worry about that. My destiny, I am destined to be the heir to the throne. Well, it makes sense. I'm a natural leader. I started out a squire, but through my leadership abilities, I'm destined to become heir to the throne. So you can already see kind of how the storytelling element plays into this. So at the end of the game, I'm going to gain 1 point for each of these runes, or symbols I should say, and 2 for any ally that I sacrificed. Well, I took the allies out of the game. They suggest that you do that in your first couple of games. So this is not going to apply to me at all. It's really only going to be right here where I can potentially get some points at the end of the game. All right. And so the last thing to do to set up the first kind of round here is to flip over these Age 1 cards. All right. Okay, let me move this down just a little bit. And we are all set to go with our first turn. Okay, here we go. So on your turn, there's one of two things you can do. You can either try to gain a trait or you can attempt a challenge. And there's both types out here, all right? So a trait is something like this, Foundling card, where it will give me 3 points at the end of the game. It's also going to gain my kind of virtue track. I would move up 1. It says when you gain this, move up 1. Well, that's potentially good for me because I know I want to be more virtuous. A challenge is something like this Survive the Flames card. And when you're looking at these challenges, what you want to do is focus on the left side of the card. So this takes a strength of 3, and you could use these, you have to have these 2 types of symbols to actually make it more viable. You're always going to start with 3 basic runes, and so you could have a potential of 3 strength off of your basic runes, but it's not very likely. You have to do very well. You have to be very lucky. You really want to have these symbols to add to that. If you wanted to, these always have 2 paths. This is the first path, the basic path, Surviving the Flames. If you want to go for the more difficult path, the Heal the Wounded, you have to add 1 to the difficulty. So instead of a 3 difficulty, it's a 4 difficulty. If you go for the basic path and you succeed, you're going to slide it over through the top of your card, and that's going to give you an extra potential symbol right here. If you do the bottom one, then you slide it underneath, and you can see in this case you'd get an extra point and you'd get a different symbol. All right. So that would be a challenge. I've got 2 challenges out here, and I've got 2 traits. Each age is going to consist of playing 3 cards. So I'm going to be playing 3 cards in Age 1, 3 cards in Age 2. Then in Age 3, I'll be placing 2 cards, and then my last turn will be trying to defeat this High Priest. All right, well, the thing I need to be thinking about is potentially... Oh, one thing I forgot. Before I get started, I was supposed to gain a hero card to start the game, and this hero card that I got is a Glorious Victory. It says if you overcame a challenge this turn without using dark runes and your result exceeds the difficulty by at least 2, you can gain 3 experience. So that's nice. The other thing you can do on your turn is play these hero or anti-hero cards if they apply. You can also go on a journey, which means spending 1, you can do this once a turn, spending 1 experience token to clear out 1 card and replace it with another card. All right, well, what I'd love to do is get the Survive the Flames card, but I don't know if it's very likely because I don't have either of those symbols right now. I've got these 2 symbols. And I don't really want to go after this because of the High Priest Inquisition would actually be a higher strength. It would be a 5 just to start with. So I think what I might want to do is gain this trait. All right. This doesn't have any prerequisite that I cannot meet. So I actually move up 1 right here. And I replace this card. All right. Spiritual. You may not gain this if you have any of the black diamond, and I don't have any black diamond, so I could gain that. And this would be nice because it does give me one of the symbols I'll need to defeat that High Priest. So I may go ahead and just try to get that, and then once I have that, I can try to survive the flames. That's what I think I'm going to do, all right? So for my next turn, I'll go ahead and gain this, which I can because I don't have any of those black diamonds. So Spiritual Foundling Squire, all right? Now I replace this. Uncover Hidden Lore. Learn Dark Secrets. Well, I think what I really want to do is try this Survive the Flames attack. Now, my question to myself is, do I want to go for the basic path or do I want to go for the Heal the Wounded? which would be nice because it would give me an extra point at the end of the game. Both of these runes help me against the High Priest. But, let's see, I'm going to be only adding one rune, this one actually, one rune to my 3 basic runes. So I think what I'm going to do is play it safe. I'm going to try the Survive the Flame, so I need a strength of 3. Alright, so here's how attempting a challenge works. You have these 3 basic runes that you're always going to do on any challenge. And the way they work is that they've got a success and then a non-success, a success and a non-success, and this one is a success or get a hero or anti-hero card. And when this comes up, I have to draw one for the High Priest. So that could potentially be bad for me. The other thing I'm going to do is gain this green rune because I've got that symbol right there in my story. And so these symbols work like this. If that symbol comes up, that's +2. If the other side comes up, it's a +1. All right? So I've gathered my 4 runes here. I'm going to shake them up and I'm going to toss them. And I ended up getting, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. I got 4. 2, 3, and 4, which is lovely. I was able to succeed in surviving the flames. All right. Now, I can't use my glorious victory because it didn't exceed by at least 2. I would have needed to get 1 more success. All right, so I survived the flames. Now, this is going to go here in my story. And now, Age 1 is done because I've got my 3 story cards here for Age 1. I'm going to go ahead and turn that over because you could still gain from previous ages if you like. But as soon as the 3 cards have been taken, I'm going to reveal the Act 2. Unlock a secret vault. Lead a boarding party. Lead an expedition. That sounds good for me. I'm a natural leader. And outwit a gang boss. Now that symbol is nice because that gives me an extra point at the end of the game since my heir to the throne would allow me to do that. So that's something I need to keep in mind as well. All right, I do want to correct myself really quickly. I had said that I can still gain cards from Act 1. That's not true. Once I finish with Act 1, these cards are no longer available to me. So I'm only looking at these Act 2 cards right now. So what is going to help me? Two of these cards I think are potentially helpful to me. Leading an expedition would be helpful to me. And outwitting a gang boss would be helpful to me. The issue that I have is outwitting the gang boss. I don't have either of those runes. So what I might try to do, is this. I might try to go for this lead an expedition. Part of me is wondering, do I want to try to discover the unknown? It would be 1 harder, it would be a 5, but it would get me this symbol, which I could then potentially try to use to outwit the gang boss there. The problem is that if I go after this, I only am going to get 1 extra rune there. And I got a 5. Oh, actually, this doesn't give me this doesn't show a +1. So this one is also this one doesn't make it any harder. Okay, I'm going to double check myself, but I don't believe that unless it has a +1, I don't think I need to worry about that. Yep, no, I can take either path. This one is the same difficulty. All right, so I think it behooves me then to try to discover the unknown. All right, now one thing that I could do before this action takes place is I could try to play, I can add a dark rune. I'm double checking to make sure I understand how I want to do that. Yeah, I can spend a experience to add a dark rune up to 3 times a turn. And these either give you a success or they knock you down 1 on your track. Now, right here, if I get knocked down 1, the worst thing that it's going to do is it's going to take 2 points away from me, which is significant. But it could give me a success. I don't know if I want to take that risk. But I need 4, and I'm going to be, oof. This one's challenging. I think I'm going to take a risk and not do it. I'm just going to go with the core rune. So I have my 3 basic runes. I'm not going to be using this green rune. Now I'm going to be using the the red rune, right? Because I'm going to be utilizing that symbol. I need that symbol, which I have one of, and then the 3 basic runes. All right, here we go. I need 4. Okay, I got 4. The other thing that happened, though, is I got this, which means that I'm going to get a card. It's going to have to be a hero card. This one is a narrow escape. Play this before you attempt a challenge. Add an extra of those 2 runes to your attempt. That's nice. But I also have to draw one for my adversary, and this could mess up what I just did, potentially. If a hero failed to challenge this turn, gain a experience. So I lucked out there. I did not fail. That worked out really well for me. Okay, so I was able to discover the unknown. This goes underneath my natural leader card, and now I've got that, which is not only going to help me if I go after that outwitting a gang boss, but it's also going to help me at the end of the game because of my heir to the throne. That gives me a point, all right, right there. All right, so now I replace that card. Delve into darkness. Ooh, that doesn't sound too pleasing. All right, so that outwitting a gang boss is not terribly easy, but I really would like to go for it. That would be a really, really, really good card for me. So much so that I'm considering taking a dark rune. Unfortunately, this narrow escape doesn't really 2, 3, 4. I was making sure that I wasn't able to use my glorious victory card, and I'm not. This narrow escape, neither of these runes will help me against that gang boss there. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend one of these to take a dark rune. I'm gonna add a dark rune into the mix and hope that it helps. I'm going to take my 3 basic runes, and now I'm also going to be taking this blue rune, and those are going to be all the ones that are going to be going for this outwitting a gang boss. I need to get 5. All right, I need to get 5. So I'm hoping for the best here. That did not work out well for me at all. I have 2, 3, 4, and a corruption, so I've got to move that down. I get to draw a card. Okay, well this is good. I could get myself an extra, I can move up on that. But I have to draw one now for the High Priest. Oh, play this after a hero has attempted a challenge. They must attempt it again. That actually worked out very good for me. That worked out really good for me. If I had not attempted it, or if I had not completed it, that would have been, if I had completed it, it would have been bad because it would have taken that away. I'm not going to go for that dark rune again. I've learned my lesson. Oops. So I'm just going to try this one more time with my basic runes and my blue rune. Let's see here. Do I want to play one of these? Yeah, this at least, I can move this up and I can get an extra point at the end of the game. So I'll just keep this, I'll keep it right here because that's going to be adding to my tableau. All right. Yeah, I did not again. I only got 2 that time, and I have to do another hero card for me. This would have been nice. This could have added an extra. Yeah, I could have added one of those. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, what if I get another Sabotage here? That would be nice. Harsh lesson. If any hero failed to challenge this turn, gain a experience. Well, you're going to get 2, actually, because their base Rise of the Adversary says when you fail a challenge, the adversary gains an experience. They're going to get an extra one because of the harsh lesson. I actually gain 1 for losing, and this gets discarded. All right. And we're going to replace. Enlightened. Well, that could be good for me. Yeah, that could be really good for me. All right. Yeah, that's going to be good. Okay, so the Enlightened card is a trait card, and this says you may only gain this if you have these two symbols or spend experience. Well, I do have those two symbols in my story, so I can just go ahead and take that, and this is going to be adding some potential benefits to me at the end of the game. There's a set collection element at the end of the game as well that I'll discuss here in a minute. Actually, I'll discuss it when we get to the end game. It's no real reason to do it right now. Okay, I'm going to replace that card. Pressed into service. All right. Or break out of captivity. All right, well, let me see here. I really would like more cards that are going to help me against the High Priest. This one would. But that's more difficult. That takes 5. Although I'd be able to use, I have that rune and I have that rune. So I think I might go for pressed into service, and that would help me against the High Priest as well. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt this pressed into service challenge. All right. Yeah, neither of these, none of my hero cards, unfortunately, are helping me with these, which is a real bummer. None of them have the correct symbols. All right, so I get my 3 base runes. Okay. My 3 base runes, I'm going to get 1 of the yellow runes and 1 of the red runes, because I have 1 of each of those. If I had more of those symbols in my story, I'd be able to add those. You can potentially have 2 or 3. All right, I'm going for pressed into service here. Here we go. I need 5. Wow, I am doing horrendously. I got 4 and a hero card. Man, not doing... Oh, let me get mine first. Give another hero an experience. Gain a... Move up the track and +2 to your next... this would be great. If I had that, I would have played that without a doubt. All right, so they're going to gain... Oh, wait, first of all, let's find out what theirs... Instill fear. Play this as they're attempting a challenge. They must choose another challenge or trait instead. Well, I'm trying to think of how I would use that, because I have to go for the... I have to attempt the challenge before this card comes out. So I don't know... You know what? I'm not sure how that negotiate. So I'm going to choose another one just to... Oh, that's why. I chose it from the wrong deck. Forget that. It comes from here, doesn't it? Let me think here. Yes. Oh, well, it's the same card. Let's try that again. Cruel Betrayal. Choose any hero. That does not apply. Okay, there's no allies. Okay, so this was no good. I did not complete that. I'm going to gain a experience, but that didn't do a whole lot for me. Well, I double-checked the rule book just to make sure, and from what I can tell, it says if the card is not relevant, and this is referring to playing the adversary's cards, it says if the card is not relevant, such as a cruel betrayal when there are no allies in play, which is exactly what came up here, it says to ignore and discard it. And so the only way I can imagine, based on the order of operations, is that this Instill Fear would also not be relevant, because this is not as I'm attempting a challenge. This is after I have already attempted the challenge. So in my mind, both of those cards are actually not applicable, and so they will just get discarded. All right. So I failed that. They got their experience there. All right. Now I need to be thinking about what I want to do next here. This has not been a great act for me so far. I could delve into darkness, go to the perilous dungeon and delve into darkness. that would get me a rune that I could use against the High Priest. Yeah, I think I might do that. I might attempt that. I really wish... Well, I could do... Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt this Delve into Darkness, okay? And so it takes 4. I have both of those symbols. I've got that symbol there, that symbol there. And I could play it safe and try this Comrade in Arms, give myself a experience, gain +2. But I don't know that I'm going to do that at this point. Oh, this one could work. This Narrow Escape. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'm going to delve into darkness into that perilous dungeon. So what I'll do is I'll get my 3 base runes. All right. I'm going to play this Narrow Escape. That's going to allow me to add a kind of gray rune, which it needs. So that's going to go up here. And then I will get another of those gray runes, because I have a symbol for it here. And then I will gain one of these red runes as well. So hopefully with all of these runes I can get 4. All right. And if I can get actually 6, I can use my Glorious Victory because I'm not using any dark runes here. So, all right. So what did I get? 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay. But I also got this Draw a Hero card. So let's do that first. Deny the Darkness. Oh, that's great. Okay, I can use that. Then we are going to try play this as they're attempting a challenge. That will not affect me because it's already after the challenge. All right. So I got 6, and so I will play this Glorious Victory. That's going to gain me 3 experience, which are actually points at the end of the game if they're not used. 3. I was able to complete this, and it was the Delve into Darkness path. All right, so I did that. That's good. Make sure there's nothing else that I'm forgetting. I will refill this, although it won't really apply because we're not going to be going there, but at least you can see some more art. All right, so I'm going to have 2 more turns before I have to go after the High Priest. All right. Yes, okay, so this is the beginning now of Act 3 because I've got 3 cards in both of my first 2 acts. Let's see here, we've got the Dark Revelation. We've got the Tyrant's Army. We've got the Sword of Darkness. And we've got the Ancient Evil. Well, that sounds pretty difficult. All right, well, let's see here. The issue is that some of these have those mask symbols, which make them even harder. Actually, yeah, 2 of them do. All right. But I also want to be thinking about runes that I want for this High Priest. Now, I'd love to get one more of this kind of V symbol, because then that would give me 3, and that would give me a more powerful one of those runes, which would be very nice. But I don't know if I'm really in a great position to do that as of yet. I have 2 more symbols. I could try to banish the Fiend here, which, yeah, this would help me and it would get me some points. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, before I go after this card, before I attempt to banish the Fiend, I'm going to play my Comrade in Arms. I have to give up a experience. I gain 1 on this track and I get +2 to my attempt. All right, so I need to remember I've got a +2, so I'm at a base of 2. All right. Let's do that. So I'm going to get my base runes. All right, I have 1 blue rune that I can add to it. Let me put these back. Actually should be there. I've got a blue rune that I can go after. I've got 2 green runes, so that's nice. And I only need a 4 because I've got a base of 2 thanks to my hero card I played earlier. All right, so I need to get a 4 out of all this. And I'd really like for once to not get a draw a hero card because those seem to have been coming up on almost every time I toss the runes here. All right. And it came up yet again. 2, 4, 5, 6, so I've just fine there. I'm going to draw a hero card. These are, you know, obviously good for me, but I don't like what they do for my opponent here. Sabotage! I must attempt it again. That's exactly what I was afraid of. So I'm going to have to attempt this again. I haven't banished the Fiend. I was sabotaged. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, good. I was able to defeat it, and I don't have to draw a card for them. So that's nice. All right. This card was defeated. I will put that underneath my Destiny card there. All right. Okay. So I need to replace this card. We've got the Force of Nature there. That might be nice. For my Heir to the Throne, that would be nice. All right. But I really... How many runes? Let's see. I've got 3 of these green runes. That's great. So that'll help me when I go for him. I've got 2 of those red runes. I feel pretty good about going after the High Priest at this point. The other thing that I could keep in mind is that at the end of the game, if I have 3 of these kind of starburst symbols, they would lose 3 points. I don't see any more of those out right now that I can get. I could try to go on a journey. But I think what I might do, I might try to enslave the forest spirit. That might be good. That might be good. All right, so let's try that. We're going to try to enslave the forest spirit, which is this card right here. I only need 4. I think I'm going to save this Divine Favor for the High Priest. Because this is going to be my last turn before I go after the High Priest. So I need 7. I need 7 here, which is certainly not a gimme. So let's get my 3 basic runes. All right. Now I have 3 of those greens, so I get to use the more powerful green plus the other 2. I also have how many of the purple runes? I've got... Oh, I don't have any of the purple runes, do I? Boy, do I want to use this Divine Favor to... I need 7. Let's see. I might want to use this Divine Favor now. I'm going to use this now, add the purple rune, play it safe, and hope that I can get 7 out of this. And of course I had to draw that card. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to gain my hero card. Play this before you attempt a challenge. Add a couple of extra runes. But let's see what they get. Dark Lord's Champion. Play this after a hero has attempted a challenge. They must attempt it again, and now it has +1. Well, that's terrific. All right, so now I need an 8 out of all this. But I could play this brilliant plan I just got and add another... Well, no, I can't add another green because I already have one. All right, so I need 8 here. Golly, I am not going to get it. All right. Let me double check and make sure what this rune here does. This special rune gets me a hero card. Okay. Well, I get a hero card, which I've got a lot of those, Deny the Darkness. And now he's going to get one of these. Dark Lord's Champion. Oh, I must attempt it again. And now +1 again. So I'm at a 9 now. Wow. Okay. But at least I have I guess, maybe a shot. I don't think I do, but I'm going to give it a shot. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Now, at least I don't have to draw another card. So this was not going to happen. They gain an experience. That gets discarded. I gain an experience. So I do have a lot of experience here. All right. My goodness, this has been rough. This has been rough. All right. Okay, I still have one more to go before I go after this High Priest. That Slay the Archmage might be nice. Yeah, I think, although I want to save that Brilliant Plan for the High Priest. Oh no, I can't because I already have, well, I guess I could. The High Priest is an 8. So I think, just for the purposes of trying to... No, I don't think I want that. I don't think I want it. I think I'm going to go on a journey. I'll spend one. I'm going to discard this and hope I get a better one out here. Duel the enemy general. Well, yeah, that would be nice. Alright. I'm going to go for the... Well, I can sacrifice my army. Because that would give me an extra one of these symbols, which I could use at the end of the game. Alright, so I'm going to try to sacrifice my army. I need 7 here. I'm keeping my 3 basic runes. I'm going to get... Let's see here. I'm looking at swords, and I'm looking at the blue. So I've got 1 sword. I've got 1 blue symbol. Alright, and I need 7, so do I want to... Yeah, I think I'd love to use this Brilliant Plan against the... Or do I take a... Maybe I'll take a Darkroom. Because I've got all these Deny the Darkness cards. Actually, I'm going to spend 3. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend 3 of these to get 3 Dark Runes. Alright? Up to 3 times a turn before you attempt. Alright, so I'm going for those 3, and if they bump me down, I've got all of these Deny the Darkness cards, which, you know, are going to help me go right back up. Okay, so I need 7 here. Would you look at that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 3 corruption. That is amazingly bad. That I couldn't have done much worse. 1, 2, 3 corruption. Wow! And I did not gain it. That is amazing. Amazing. Okay, well, that goes away. They're 1 away now from winning. Oh my goodness. Okay. I can tell you, the last game I played of this could not have been much different. I really just kind of romped. And this one, I'm just getting crushed. Alright, so I definitely want to deny the darkness here. And I can take as many of these as I have available. So I'm going to play 2 of these Deny the Darkness cards to move me back up. Alright. My goodness, that was awful. Alright. And they're 1 away from beating me here. And so if I fail a challenge here, they've won. So I really need to be careful. The lowest one I've got here... Boy, I don't like any of these. I think I'm going to try to go on another journey. Let's get rid of this one. Call for Mercy. Okay, that one looks better. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to attempt this Call for Mercy. I need 6. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. And I might end up adding to it because I'm telling you, this is just... I could lose the game right here. Alright, so I need 6. I've got, let's see, 1 of these. And, oh boy, I have none of those. Yeah, I'm going to need help. Boy, do I really want to go for this one, actually? This one is not going to be good for me at all. Because I only have 1 of those runes. And the card that I have to add to that wouldn't... Boy, that's... Yeah, I can't go for that one. My goodness, let's see here. Let me think. All right, well, I don't feel like I've got some really great options here, so I think what I'm going to do is go for the simplest one. That'll give me one extra rune. Because none of these really work great for the runes that I've got. So I've got to try to wield the Dark Blade and just hope that I can make it, because otherwise the game is over for me. So I'm going to have my 3 regular runes. I'm going to have my 1 yellow rune. I'm going to spend all 3 of my experience points to gain 3 dark runes. I've got to go all in here. Alright. And I need 5. I certainly hope that with all these I can get 5, but the way I've been casting runes, there's no guarantee. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I barely did it, but I do have to draw, and that could take it all back. Okay, can give me something. Let's see. I'm going to have to reshuffle all these. I sure hope that I don't get a Sabotage or something like that. Now, if I do, I can use those dark runes again. I don't have to repay them. I checked the rules on that. Let's see what I get. It's a harsh lesson. Okay, I lucked out because I didn't fail it. All right, very close one. All right, so I wielded the Dark Blade successfully. This is going to go here. And now I am able to, I'll fill this, although again I don't think I need to, because now what I'm doing is I'm going after this High Priest. Alright, so this High Priest, let's start with what we got here. We're putting these dark runes back. We've got our 3 basic runes. Alright. He's got 1, 2. I've got 2 of those reds. Alright. Got 2 of those. Greens. I've got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to be able to use all of those, even with the good one there, but kind of higher powered one. And then I could, well, I can't because I've got all those greens. Oh, I could play this Inner Strength. Add an extra. So I'm gonna, since I can't use this super powered one, I'm gonna cast one of those red ones again. All right. Okay. Anything else that can help me here? I don't think so. So I need 8, and I'm gonna be able to cast one of these reds again. All right. It's all here. Let's see what I got. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I did it, and I get a hero card. Woo, that was close. That was close. All right. So I was able to defeat the High Priest. All right. So let me make sure there's nothing I'm missing here. I got my 8. Yes. All right. So he's going to go tucked under here. Alrighty. Now, this does not mean I've won the game, because I have to be looking at some endgame stuff here as well. Alright. It says if any player ends the game with less than 30 destiny, the adversary gains 2. So that could be one way right there. If I have to have at least 30 destiny, or else the adversary will have 1. So let's figure out how we get that destiny, alright? So what I need to do is get out my calculator, which is also known as my phone. So, let's see. Add up all destiny points under your character cards, adding the triumph, which are the white triangle, or the white diamonds, and the tragedy points together. Okay, so, let's see. We've got 3, plus 6, plus 3, plus 4. None down here, so that's got me at 16 so far. Alright, then 1 point for every unspent experience token. I have none of those. Every hero card you played is worth 1, so let's see, I played quite a few hero cards. Let's see how many I've got there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. That's got me to 24. And then triumph or tragedy points gained from your position on the corruption track, so I get 8 there, so that's got me to 32 already, so I'm in good shape there. And then, let's see here. Points on your Destiny card. Oh, okay. Also, I should have been looking at these story icons. So you're looking for sets here. I don't know that I've got any sets here. Ooh, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, let's see here. You know, I may not have defeated him. There's a mask on his, and it says here, other mask challenges have +1. So when they say other mask challenges, I'm not sure if they mean outside of the High Priest or not. I really don't know. I may not have won the game. I'm going to say I win the game. I'm going to assume that that counts against it. So that gives him the 5. And I don't have those 3 starburst symbols. I've only got 1, so I wouldn't take 2 of them off. So I think I actually ended up losing, but just let me show you really quickly how the sets work. If you have 2 or more, if you have 2 of the same set, you get 2 points. 3 of the same set, you get 4 points. 4 of the same set, you get 8. So actually, I didn't have 2 or more of any set. I only had 1 of that, 1 of that, 1 of that, 1 of that, 1 of that. So I would have, had I, which I think I did lose, if I hadn't lost there, then I would have ended up with 32 Destiny points. So anyway, I think you can get hopefully an idea of how the game is played. I will say that there are still some edge cases that I haven't quite figured out completely. I think if, as I play the game more and check FAQs and things along those lines, that those might come a little bit more clear to me. But just to give you an idea of how the game is played, hopefully this illuminated that a little bit for you. The other thing that they suggest that you do is kind of tell your story at the end of the game. So you were a squire, a spiritual squire who had to survive the flames, and you delved into darkness and became more and more enlightened as you found out that you were a natural leader of people, and using those skills, you attempted to become the heir to the throne by wielding the dark blade and banishing fiends and going after the high priest. In my case, I think that I would have been eventually unsuccessful in becoming the heir to the throne. The high priest would have unfortunately defeated me if I understood this correctly. So you can kind of get a little bit more of a storytelling element out of it. And if you're playing with multiple players, then everyone would be encouraged to kind of tell their own story. So there you have it. Call to Adventure. Hopefully you got an idea of how the game is played. And as always, I appreciate you so much for your time. Thank you so much, and have a great day.